October 25th, 1986, several dozen makeup and special effects artists gathered together at the Park Plaza Hotel in Los Angeles to participate in the first annual Monster Makers contest. Their requirements were to have worked in motion pictures and to possess the patience and know-how to create an original being from out of their craziest dreams or worst nightmares. Each contestant had several months to prepare their original creation in one of three categories. The strange and exotic beings which were seen on this night will not be soon forgotten.
I came up with the idea of this contest while I was attending the Halloween party of the makeup artist. I was sorry to see these great works appreciated by a few. I thought, how can I provide an opportunity for these emerging artists to show their work to a larger audience? The answer lay in this evening, a celebration of our work.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are gathered together to witness a contest of a most unusual nature. This is not a beauty contest. This is a gathering of monstrous talent who now vie for the world's weirdest trophy and one of several special makeup kits donated by Friends Beauty Supply. Now, will you all please stop standing upon your heads?
You know, something really marvelous has happened with makeup. We've entered into the second great era of professional makeup. I think the first one really started back in the mid-30s in films when makeup artists learned to use foam latex to make appliances, things that changed the face three-dimensionally. It's only in the last 10 or 15 years that we've entered into a new era, a second era, and it's been a quantum leap forward. And I'm referring to the understanding by makeup artists of many new technologies that enable them to go far beyond what was possible before. Making change-o heads, heads that change right on camera, doing different transformations that where almost anything can happen. I'm being followed and exceeded by the younger generation, and it's marvelous to see, and I'm thrilled to be here and to see what the young people are doing. They're adding new inspiration and new creativity and raising this art craft to even higher levels. It is perhaps the reason why we're here tonight, because we're celebrating the advent of this recognition of the true marvels that makeup can create today. And I think it's only the beginning.
Let us start out with a gentleman who has given us many, many bizarre and grotesque memories, Mr. Tom Berman.
What a thrill. What a thrill to be here with the best in the world in the future, best in the world.
Now let us welcome a gentleman who has thrilled us so recently with Aliens, so many other dazzling effects, Mr. Stan Winston.
What a thrill. What a thrill. Have a good time.
Now, shall I introduce the gentleman who has given us so many thrills and surprises, from werewolves to perfect apes, Mr. Rick Baker.
I hope the big earthquake doesn't come now. I just think what it do to the film industry, you know, the film industry, the present and the future. It's scary.
And lastly, the gentleman considered to be, of course, the Dean of Makeup Artists. He has been an inspiration to all of us, Mr. Dick Smith.
Good evening, everybody. You know, Halloween's a really very special holiday for makeup artists. I think it's even better than Christmas. There's not many makeup artists in the United States, probably a couple of hundred, but on Halloween, thousands of people celebrate the art of makeup, our art. So it's really our holiday, and I think we should make it official. I think we should have this event every year as the official opening for the festivities of Halloween. How about that?
Now that the judges are seated, the contest will begin. I would like to point out that quite a number of the people you will see on stage this evening are merely models. The makeup artists themselves have simply applied. They will be seen later in the show with their creations. We will begin with the appliance category.
An appliance, which is a foam rubber prosthetic that is glued to the actor's face or hand or whatever part of his anatomy, that is articulated by the actor's facial movements.
Please enter.
Contestant number 2, Dale Brady. Contestant number 3, John Price.
Let's talk about trash like Aliens. Why the heck are they making the movies about these people crawling across our borders and winning our state lotteries? That really hacks me off.
Contestant number 4, Carly Bowman. Contestant number 5, Mark Siegel.
I am called Dr. Triceratops, professor of prehistory. 65 million years ago, my ancestors, the dinosaurs, were destroyed, were wiped off the face of the earth, utterly destroyed after 150 million years of dominance. And do you know why? The truth is, we were destroyed by your ancestors. I hope you are proud, for you won't be proud long. We are coming back. We are coming back in all our power and our glory.
Contestant number 6, Linda Notstad.
My name is Uriel. That is all I have to say. Thank you.
This man doesn't know the difference between a nose appliance and a kitchen appliance.
Contestant number 7, Rob Berman. Contestant number 8, Rick Lazzarini.
They say that 2 heads are better than 1. That's simply not true. I tried to get ahead in life. This is what I got. Actually, let me just call this baby on board. I can't take it anymore.
I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. We're tired. He has to go rest.
Number 9, Lenny McDonald.
I'd like to recite a poem by Edgar Allan Poe. Of course, I'm going to do The Raven.
Number 11, Lauren Gittins. Number 12, Keith Edmer.
Basically what I was trying to do with the character was to create an interaction between a primitive person and a modern environment, and that he uses these technologies such as a computer to carry about his everyday work as a primitive village person. Since I'm not a black person, it was, the makeup entailed quite a bit. I had a full face foam rubber appliance and a set of ears, fake ears, which the earrings were all coming out of, and a bald cap.
Number 13, Dwight Roberts. Number 14, Chris Biggs. Number 1, Dave Matherly.
Good evening. It's great to be here. Tonight's the night when we all come here and we come here and we experience true horror at its best. We all come here to bring out that little devil that we all have in ourselves. So, with no more further ado, from one devil to another, happy Halloween. Thank you very much. It's great to be alive. God bless you. Thank you.
Many of us makeup artists started by making ourselves up, often as monsters. That's what I did when I was young. And it was an extraordinary experience. I was a shy kid, but when I put on Mr. Hyde, I went around, I had policemen chasing me, I went and did crazy things. I was a different person.
I was like incredibly shy. I was a little kid who never said anything. And when I first made myself up and I wasn't little Ricky Baker anymore, when I had this new face, I found that I could do things that I couldn't do as myself. And I found this quite fascinating. And I found it happening all through my career. When you make somebody up as an old person and they look in the mirror and they see themselves as an old person and they feel these appliances on their face, and it really helps them get into that character as an old person. And same thing if you make somebody up as a monster, they lose a lot of their inhibitions. They know that they're not themselves anymore, and they've got this new face, and they can be a lot more monstrous. It's really quite fascinating to see this change and to feel the change, to have it happen to yourself, to be sitting in front of a mirror and all of a sudden see your face disappear and this new face appear and this new personality come out. It's part of what first got me fascinated in makeup.
In an overlapping appliance makeup, there comes a time when you have to separate the sculpture into the pieces that are going to be individually applied to his face. And the next step is to separate the pieces. It's a 4-piece makeup. It's a headpiece, including the forehead and the wig, and 2 cheek pieces and 1 piece for the chin. And his mouth is basically free.
Well, the main reason why I chose to do my father was just because we've already got pretty much a likeness between the two of us, but after looking at all the pictures, I noticed there's quite a bit of differences, so I went ahead and did a full appliance.
I'm working on the mold right now. It's kind of an extensive molding process for an appliance. It'll be 2 pieces wrapped around the core, which is actually my face. And then the sculpture's sculpted onto my face, so I'll get a perfect fit.
I'm doing it in different pieces like this, 6 different pieces, so it'll move a lot better. And it'll fit to my face easier and doesn't quite shrink as much. And I'm going to apply it all now together and then color it, and so I can put it on my face. After the edges are all blended and all I have to worry about are around the eyes and maybe around here on the upper lip.
What I wanted to try to do with this, other than do a monster type thing, because all I've ever done is just monsters. So I wanted to try, I saw like Nagel paintings that had the women in it sort of Art Deco style. And I thought that would be kind of neat to do as a makeup. So here I am doing it as a makeup. So hopefully it'll turn out kind of interesting. It won't be a typical monster kind of thing.
A makeup artist nowadays, instead of just being an artist and a painter and so forth, he has to be a technician in many crafts. He has to be able to do complicated mechanical devices. He has to know radio control. Eventually we'll be into computers. It's really, there's no end to it.
What I'm doing now is turning on the radio control for this. This system is usually used to operate radio control cars, radio control airplanes, and so you use the receiver here, the transmitter, and these are the muscles, you could say. They're called servos. And you can see that when you move them, they pull a cable that runs up the conduit that moves the mechanics up here. And you can see that moving around. And then pull the skin on.
There are limitations with what you can do with appliances. I always found it limiting because you had to deal with the actor's face as the armature for your sculpture, and you had only a certain thickness that you can build up onto that. And I wanted to do more. In a mask, you can you can put the eyes wherever you want. You don't necessarily have to line them up with the actor's own eyes. You can make the mouth as big as you want, or you can put the mouth over here or whatever. So masks give you a little more freedom of design.
Let's get on to the mask category then, shall we? I can't wait for this one.
Mask contestant number 1, Randy Killen.
I just kind of put together, you know, a kind of a human form with things that tell you it's somewhat human, you know, shoulders and kind of a human hand of sorts, and yet still had kind of a fishy spine type of feeling and kind of a fish mouth with a gill look on the side. You know, kind of a combination that was mutated, which I think that's what evolution is, kind of a mutation process.
Bruce Barlow, number 2. Contestant number 3, Yosuke Takayamaki.
This man just turned 17 today. Happy birthday.
Mask contestant number 4, Ed Yang.
For this guy, I knew I wanted something flaring out of the back of the head. And I was in my anatomy class and we're studying about bones, so I thought maybe a pelvic bone would look kind of neat.
Number 5, Chet Czar.
Take your brain spoon and gently dip it in the skull. Come on now, don't be afraid to take a nice hearty scoop. Put it in your mouth and chew thoroughly. Now, any cranial fluid left on the lips should be wiped off immediately. Continue these steps until the cerebral cortex is in view or until your appetite is satisfied. Eating brain should prove to be quite an enjoyable experience. Well, probably not, but wasn't it fun learning? Good night and bon appetit.
Number 6, Jim McLaughlin. Number 7, Brian Wade.
Every little town has its own cast of characters. Always got a drunk and a gossip who spills words. And there's probably another me there too. So why can't another you, another you? So why can't another you?
Number 8, Mark Garbarino. Number 9, Stewart, land. Number 10, Robert Stanley. Number 11, Kent Jones.
Let's hear it for the mask contestant.
I met a famous theatrical mask maker whose name was Benda, long since dead now. Benda made these gorgeous papier-mâché masks, and he told me that if a person puts on a mask and was not really thinking about what his face is doing, that involuntarily his face will assume the expression of the mask. In other words, if you put on a happy mask, you will smile. If you put on a sad mask, you'll look sad. And you will feel that way also.
I do the sketches, I'm not too concerned whether they're that accurate as far as, I've got a lot of extra lines and thought lines and scribbles on them, but I know that's the kind of look that I want, and then I'll go and do a second-generation sketch of those that's more detailed and more refined and a little less jumbled with lines. And then I'll look at that and refer back and forth. And then, of course, once you get into the 3D, things change from what was on paper.
I think one of the hardest things to come up with is originality, because once you start a sculpture, it always ends up looking like somebody else's work. So I really think coming up with an original idea is probably the hardest part, and then you incorporate your skill in sculpting and mold making into the actual final piece.
Well, sometimes it's hard to draw the line between whether you should use an appliance or a mask, or a mechanical head for that matter. I usually make that decision based upon many factors, not only just what I think creatively is going to give the best appearance aesthetically, but also the practicality problems. For example, I did some work on a film recently called Rat Boy, and I did a couple different designs. One was with wider spaced eyes, more rat-like face, which couldn't be done as an appliance, because in an appliance you just glue it on a person's face and you need to use their eyes. So I did this as a mechanical mask with a radio-controlled eye blinks. It was a neat design, but in this case, this film, the person had to work for 50 days. Having a mechanical mask that the person had to look out of little eyes that are spaced out like this was a torture device for a person to wear, and especially a person to wear for 50 days. I think it should be a prerequisite to anybody who does make effects that they should know what it's like to be inside of it. I mean, I grew up with this shit on my face. I grew up gluing rubber on my face and putting stuff on, and I usually try to do a prototype version of whatever I'm doing to fit myself to see what it's like on the inside, because some poor actor has to wear this for, for sometimes months.
今回日本から参加する高柳です。これが今回僕が制作したマスクですけど、色はパックスで載せてます。主に筆を使ってますけど、それからあとメカニカルですけど、ワイヤー操作でまぶたの開閉、それとあとチークでスマイルを表現できます。それとあと自分の顎で動かすんですけど、それをするとアッパーリップが上がる仕組みになってます。
Sometimes just a mask is not enough. If you have this bizarre head, you should have a bizarre body to go with it. So then we've got monster suits.
The next group of bizarre beings is the monster suit group. But brace yourselves, because from the pits of hell they come, these horrid and dreadful creatures.
Evil, you beautiful undead thing, you. Why don't you assist these contestants on stage?
May we have number 1, Adam Hill. Contestant number 2, Grant Arts.
Now remember, if you go friggin' cheating on me, it's gonna be over.
Look at me. Is this the face of a man who's fucking around? I'm serious. I love you.
Charles.
I'm done, Dave.
Contestant number 3, Bill Bryan.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Terence Toke, bounty hunter. Thank you. I've been tracking down bozoids, and I've tracked one down.
Katie, I'll give you about 15 seconds out there.
Number 5, Gabe Bartolis.
Marky, where's your backside?
Number 4 is ready. Okay, we'll get him next. Remember, to the right side. The judges are to the right side.
Number 7, Steve Wang. Number 4, Mark Wilson.
The land a long time ago where the Lords lived. They were once brought extinct. And now we have come back to take our place. And once again, rule the world.
Number 6, Makio Kida.
Hi, Emilio.
We need to clear it back a little.
Who's number 8?
We are.
Who's number 8?
We are.
Who's number 8 and 9?
We are. We're the last ones, right?
We're not.
Nobody else?
Number 13, Mike Levitri.
General Corps, here, being escorted by a member of the Military Alliance, is from the Des Moines Galaxy. He is in command of the toughest, most ruthless military force in his or anyone's galaxy. You may notice wounds or scars, apparently arisen from some fierce intergalactic conflict. While in the LA area, General Corps will be available for weddings, parties, and small-scale military confrontations. He thanks you all, and good evening.
There's the entrance out there. We're gonna go down the stairs. Do you want us to meet us upstairs? Maybe.
Heal me.
It's Emilio. I got here too late. Oh, that's too bad. It's a shame.
good stuff too. Nice job.
Comes down to the water.
That's a shame. You look really good too. Terrific job.
Thank you.
Excellent. Really excellent.
I came out to participate in this event because I think it's really a terrific idea. These young people struggle going around showing a portfolio, pictures and so forth of things that they have done, and that's the way they get work. But this is even better. This really shows the real thing, not just a couple of photographs. Now they have a chance to come and give it the whole works and show everybody, show the people who are in the profession and show the outsiders what wonderful things makeup can do and what they, with their particular creativity, can produce. I think that's great.
This is a character about sort of a Chinese mythology based on my character. It's called the Keeper of the Gate, and there's supposedly two of these guys. They're like thousands of years old, and they guard the gates of the sea demon, which has this big kingdom underneath the water. And this is an original design of what my interpretation of one of these keepers of the gates would look like.
For the design, I was a big fan of Big Daddy Lost, so I wanted to see his monster in a three-dimensional.
Everyone keeps coming by asking what is his name, but I say it's unpronounceable in the English language. They're saying he's an alien warrior that's about 170 years old, and he's been a warrior for about 150 of those years, and belongs to the alien legion or something like that. And fighting across the galaxy, fighting all kinds of different creatures. Some a little bit more powerful than he is, since he's got a lot of damage to him. Scars all over the head, all across the back and on the body.
Mainly I've decided to do is go ahead and use a lot more foam this time. I usually sculpt all my creatures, but because of the size of the beast and the amount of time and budget that I have on this project, I'm going mainly with foam. All my build-ups will be done later with strips of foam over the top, and then I'll add fabric over that to get the delineation of ribs and muscles and spines. All the padding on the little guy, which will be, of course, over me, is also out of foam, where I might have sculpted a belly piece and cast it in foam latex.
Because we don't like the boundaries put on us, the limitations that certain processes have, like I mentioned before with the appliances and so on. Sometimes even just like a mechanical mask, you can't do everything that you'd like to do with it because of the fact that there's a person's head inside. There's only so much space to put mechanics. So we started doing using puppeteering techniques where we actually puppeteer heads, make a puppet head or a dummy head that actually moves, or in some cases entire puppeted bodies. In this case, it really opens up a lot of freedom of design. We can have long, skinny arms or long, skinny necks or anything that we want in that way. And so puppets really come into play a lot these days. Because I think they're one of the reasons I know that I like to use them is because they're fun. We don't have the limitations. And another thing is sometimes you don't really have to deal with the actors.
It's amazing what's happening now in films. In the last few years, it gets so that every script, everything from the low budgets to the high budgets, is loaded with all kinds of special makeup effects.
When I first started doing makeup effects work, I had to beg a director to let me do something. It's like, let me put a scar on this guy. Why don't we make his head blow up?
There seems to be a tremendous demand for it.
Now I get scripts that are full of the weirdest ideas. I go, where do these guys come up with this stuff? And they think that we can really do this?
Gosh knows we have many, many creative writers and producers in films, and they're going to give us more problems.
Now there's so many people doing this type of work. Everybody has their own shop, and there's so many kids working in this industry.
We have tapped into a use of makeup in films, which is not going to die out.
They see that this is a new way that they can use their artistic abilities to entertain people and to create some amazing work.
Already, We have done a lot and shown the possibilities of makeup.
I really don't think that it's so much that there's new materials that have created the great new works in makeup effects as much as the new awareness of makeup effects.
I look forward to years of new and better and more ingenious triumphs in this field. I'm very excited about this.
At this time, may we have the contestants for the appliance category please come up on stage. Second place in the best appliance category, Mr. Dale Grady. Give a nice round of applause. First place in the appliance category, number 8, Rick Lazzarini. Second place in the mask category goes to number 4, Ed Yang. The first place in the mask category, I cannot pronounce the name, is number 3.
Yusuke Takaya Oni.
May we have the contestants for the monster suit category up on stage, please. Second place, runner-up in the costume category, number 2, Grant Art. Grant. First place in the costume category, number 7, Steve Wang. Let's give everybody a nice round of applause. Before we conclude the show, we'd like to have a few words from Mr. Dick Smith, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you. I really just want to introduce to you the man who made all this wonderful evening possible. His name, believe it or not, is Screaming Mad George. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you. Nice. Okay, thank you, every contestant. Very nice. Everybody's great. Everybody, audience, you guys are great.
Yes. We really had a tough time deciding. I think there's an outstanding amount of work here, and it kind of makes us all want to retire. So I think we should hear it again for all these people. Really? Really terrific job.
These are my kids. No, these are my kids.
Those are mine. Well, I think this concludes the first annual Monster Makers Halloween contest. Let's do it really good next year. Second annual Monster Makers. All right? All right. Thank you, everybody. Please. Cut. Thank you.
The first annual Monster Makers contest was a great way for these kids to show off their work, and like I said, it made some of us old timers feel a little bit threatened to see this good work from these kids who just started.
I'm hoping, of course, that this will continue, that this will go on every year. I think it will.
I was just hanging around outside trying to pick up some chicks I found earlier.
Yeah? You were there, huh?
Yeah.
I got lucky.
Thank you. Good evening, and welcome to our show.
Oh, look at this. That's good.
I'll put this whole thing in my mouth and I'll eat it. And then I'll make love to a brick.
Why didn't you have this finished for the first annual Monster Makers contest? Yes, yes.
This wasn't done. Did it come off as kind of like a mockery at all? You know?
Yeah, it was funny. Like you pulled out your...
The total concept, I was very glad that it happened.
Yeah.
Very pleased.
Yeah.
Somebody was finally taking care of what everybody had thought should have happened a long time ago.
Show's going pretty good. A little bit rough, this being the first annual Monster Makers contest, but except for a major catastrophe, a couple of fiascos, I think we're doing beautifully. Stay tuned for next year's contest. Aye.